For thousands of years, the Galactic Council believed humans were gone forever. They had been exiled to the far edge of the galaxy, thrown into a dark and empty region where no star map existed. The Council said humans were too ambitious, too hungry for growth, and that their nature could break the balance of peace. Most species agreed, and slowly, the memory of humans faded away. Their name became a warning told to younglings. Never be like the humans. But the truth did not stay buried. In deep space, far from any trade route, a small research ship drifted near a strange system. It was an old Velaran scout ship, the Velaran Scout 6, with a crew of 6. The Velarans were insect-like beings with glassy blue eyes, soft-clicking voices, and long, thin limbs. They were peaceful explorers, not warriors. For many days, their scanners picked up nothing special, just dead stars and silent rocks. But on the 12th day, something changed. A massive metallic shadow appeared on their long-range sensors, so large that the ship's computer struggled to measure it. At first, the crew thought it was a broken ring world or an abandoned megastructure. But as they came closer, the truth shocked them. The object was not abandoned. It was alive with energy. A giant artificial construct floated between two dead suns, black, shimmering, and pulsing with slow waves of moving metal. It looked like a machine older than the Council itself, yet somehow still awake. Captain Reltor leaned forward, all 6 of his eyes staring at the screen. "This is not Council technology," he said. "Not even close." The crew exchanged nervous clicks. The construct did not match any known species. Its design was too smooth, too perfect. It looked like something built without fear of cost or limit. Reltor ordered the ship to move closer. As soon as they reached scanning distance, the Scout 6 shut down. Lights flickered. Engines powered off. Every system froze at once, locked by an invisible force. Only one thing still worked: the audio sensors. A faint repeating transmission played every 11 seconds. A human voice. "Calm, cold, impossible. We are returning." The crew froze in fear. They all knew the legends. Humans were gone. Humans were erased. Humans were never to be spoken of again. Yet the voice continued. "We are returning." Reltor felt something he had not felt in decades. Pure terror. The construct suddenly shifted. Hundreds of metallic plates moved like liquid, folding into a circular formation. A doorway of bright white light opened at its center. From that light, a ship emerged. It did not use engines. It did not release heat. It simply pushed space aside as it moved, a perfect, silent glide. The vessel was sleek, black, and shaped like a long blade. No windows, no markings, no weakness. Every Velaran on board felt a heavy pressure in their minds, like something was reading their thoughts. The ship contacted them directly, not through radio, not through translation software, but into their minds. A voice echoed inside every skull. "We remember our exile." Reltor grabbed the sides of his chair as his breathing sped up. This was human speech, old Earth Standard, a language the Council had deleted from all records. The message continued, "And now we come home." Before the crew could react, the human ship scanned them. In less than a second, it read all their data, their species history, their technology, their politics, even their personal memories. The Velarans screamed in pain as the scan passed through them like a cold wind. Then the human ship sent one last message. "Tell the Council their time is over." The crew watched in silent horror as the vessel turned. The space around it twisted like water, and then it simply vanished. No explosion, no jump trail, no energy signature. Just gone. The Velaran ship powered back on by itself, as if nothing happened. But everything had changed Reltor forces shaking hands to activate the recorder. "This is Captain Reltor Scout 6, he said. "We made contact with humans. They are alive. They have advanced far beyond any known limit. And they're coming back." He stopped recording. His throat was dry. The crew said nothing. No one knew what to say. Humans had survived exile. Humans had built something massive, something impossible. Humans had created an empire in the dark, an empire strong enough to bend space itself. Reltor whispered, "They were never extinct. We were fools to believe it." The stars outside the window suddenly felt cold and dangerous, because now the entire galaxy understood one thing. Humanity had returned, and they did not come in peace. They came for justice. The silent return had begun. The message from Velarin Scout 6 reached the Galactic Council headquarters after 3 days of travel to secure communication channels. Most messages took weeks, but this one was marked with the highest emergency code, the Black Sun Code, used only when a threat to the entire galaxy existed. Inside the Grand Council Hall, a massive circular chamber with floating seats and blue holograms, the delegates of more than 70 species gathered. Their voices filled the air with confusion and fear. "What is this? Is this a trick?" Humans died thousands of years ago. When the recording of Captain Reltor's message played, the entire hall went silent. No one moved. No one dared breathe. The words echoed across the chamber. "We made contact with humans. They are alive. They have evolved far beyond the council. They are coming back." Silence followed, thick, heavy, painful. For the first time in centuries, the council felt fear. The High Speaker, a tall crystalline being named Azrin Prime, rose from the center chair. His voice vibrated through the air like ringing bells. "This must be a mistake," he said slowly. "Humans cannot return. They were exiled beyond the galaxy. Their systems were destroyed. Their path was sealed." A cold whisper passed through the room. Many delegates avoided looking at each other. They all knew the truth. The exile had not been a fair decision. Humans were not punished for crimes. They were punished for potential. Humans multiplied too fast, learned too fast, invented too fast. The council feared that one day humans would control everything. So the council exiled them to die. But they did not die. Delegate Sheravon of the reptilian Drakari stood and slammed her clawed hand on her podium. "We warned you all," she hissed. "Humans were always dangerous. You exiled them, and now they have returned with power we cannot understand." Delegate Marukel of the floating Jelari spoke next. Her voice was soft, like bubbling water. "If this message is true, then humans cross the boundary of physics itself. They have technology equal to the legends of the first builders. No species should be able to control space-time like this." Murmurs rose. "We must prepare the defense fleets." "No, this will start a war." "What if war is already coming?" One human ship disabled an entire scout. What could we do against their empire? Fear spread like wildfire. At the far end of the hall, an old and forgotten species, the Terrell, activated their speaker crystal. The Terrell were ancient historians, small gray beings with deep black eyes. They rarely spoke. Their elder, Master Kalon, leaned forward. "Long ago," he said softly, "before exile, humans were already different. They learned faster than machines. They fought harder than warriors. They survived every world, from frozen moons to burning deserts. They were adaptable in ways no species understood." His voice grew darker. "And now, after thousands of years in exile, they have evolved again. The humans who return are not the humans we knew." A chill spread across the delegates. Suddenly, alarms rang through the council hall. A security officer rushed to the center and bowed. Hi, Speaker Azrin Prime. We have a new emergency transmission. A fleet near the Outer Rim has vanished. What do you mean vanished? Azrin Prime asked. The officer's hand shook. 34 ships gone. Not destroyed. Not damaged. Gone. Their last message said a Black Mirror ship appeared. Then silence. Gasps echoed. Delegate Sheravon snarled. This is a human's doing. Another delegate shouted. We must strike first. No, others yelled. Fight them and we all die. The hall quickly turned into chaos. Everyone yelled at once. Fear drowning logic. Azrin Prime slammed his staff into the ground, sending a wave of energy that silenced the room. We will do nothing, he said. Not until we understand what humanity wants. But not everyone agreed. At a dark corner of the chamber, a small group of hardline delegates whispered together. They were part of an old secret faction called the Shield of Purity, a group that believed humans should never be allowed to exist again. Their leader, a sharp-eyed avian named Senator Rifle, spoke in a cold whisper. Waiting is death. Humans return with power we cannot match. We must strike before they reach our worlds. But how? Another asked. They have ships that bend space. Rifle's feathers lifted slyly. Humans still have a homeworld. Earth. It may be old, weak, undefended. A dark plan formed. If they destroyed Earth, maybe they could break the returning human empire before it fully awakened. On the main council floor, Azrin Prime tried to restore order. We must not repeat our past mistakes. The exile was wrong. History must not repeat. But some species glared at him. Old hatred ran deep. Delegate Sheravon spoke again, her voice trembling. You speak of mistakes, but do you not remember? Humans nearly conquered 3 sectors before the exile. Master Kalon corrected her softly. That was not conquest. That was exploration. Humans built colonies at record speed. Yes, but they never used force. They simply grew. And that is the danger, another shouted. Growth without limit. The room erupted once more. Fear, pride, old lies, old truths, everything mixed together. Finally, the High Speaker ended the argument. Enough. We will send a first contact fleet to intercept any human vessel approaching Council space. We will attempt peaceful communication. We will not provoke war. Many disagreed, but none could refuse the Speaker's command. A fleet was prepared. A message was sent through every channel. If any human vessel approaches, we request peaceful dialogue. But aboard the returning human empire, in their vast quantum cities of light and shadow, the message was already received, and they answered with only 3 words. We are coming. The council felt a new fear, a fear deeper than war. For the first time in history, they did not know if they were dealing with humans, or something the exile had reshaped into gods. The first contact fleet gathered near the border council space, a line of stars marking the last safe region before the dark frontier where humans had been exiled long ago. More than 400 ships arrived. Battle cruisers, shield carriers, diplomatic vessels, scout frigates. Every species had contributed something. Even those who hated humans agreed. They needed to be ready. In the center of the fleet floated the flagship Dawnlight, a silver triangular vessel with blue shields glowing like liquid light. Inside it, the fleet commander, Admiral Seraxis of the Ivorians, stood at the main bridge window. He was a tall, bird-like being with sharp golden eyes and feathers that shifted with his emotions. Normally, Seraxis was calm, even elegant, but today, his feathers were stiff with tension. Behind him, his second officer, a 4-armed stone-skinned being named Braddock, spoke in a quiet rumble. Admiral, do you truly believe humans will come this way? Saraxis did not look at him. They said they are returning, he answered. And this is the only path that leads directly into council space. Braddock shifted uneasily. I heard the stories as a child, he said. Humans were said to be wild, unpredictable, too fast, too clever, too determined. My elders said humans could adapt to any world. Saraxis nodded. An exile made them stronger. Inside the communication chamber, diplomats from 9 species waited. Their job was difficult. Meet the humans, understand their intentions, and avoid war. Among them sat Ambassador Elithra, a calm, silver-skinned telepath from the gentle Kalari species. She closed her eyes and whispered, I feel something in the distance, something powerful, something awake. Her words sent a cold shiver through the room. Hours passed. The fleet floated silently, shields active, weapons on minimal power, to not provoke fear. Every ship scanned the darkness beyond the border. They detected nothing. No engines, no signals, no ships, just emptiness. Some officers began to relax. Maybe they are not coming. One said. Maybe the Velarin message was wrong. Another added, maybe humans do not care about us anymore. But Admiral Saraxis kept staring into the darkness. He sensed something too quiet, too controlled. He whispered, humans are not the type to send warnings they do not mean. Then, a single alarm. A sensor officer shouted, voice cracking, Admiral, something is appearing at the edge of space. The bridge screens flickered. At first, they saw nothing. Then space itself began to bend, like fabric being pulled from behind. A black sphere formed. Silent, smooth, perfect. Is it jump gate? Braddock asked. No, Saraxis whispered. It's more like a hole in reality. The sphere widened, stretching open like an eye, and from it, a single ship emerged. Not a fleet, not an armada, just one. It was the same type the Velarin had seen. A black blade-shaped vessel, silent and glowing with faint white lines. Its surface moved like liquid metal. It resembled something alive. The bridge fell silent. A whisper spread through the fleet. Only one. Many thought it was a mistake. Surely a powerful empire would send more ships. But Admiral Saraxis understood the message. We do not need more. The human ship stopped exactly 700 kilometers from the dawnlight. No engines. No radio. Nothing. Then every screen across the entire fleet went black. A single message appeared. White letters. Old human language. First contact protocol. Standby. Ambassador Elithra gasped. They're inside every system without accessing any channel. Human technology had hacked 400 ships in 1 second, without breaking a shield, without touching a wire, without sending a signal. Just thought. A voice filled every ship. It was calm, deep, not angry, not hostile, just powerful. We greet the Council Fleet. Do not fear. We are not here to bring war. Saraxis stepped forward. This is Admiral Saraxis of the Galactic Council. Identify yourself. A moment of silence. Then the answer. Designation, Ethon. Rank, Envoy of the Human Continuum Empire. The bridge trembled at the name. Human? Empire? Braddock whispered. The voice continued. We come with peaceful purpose. But we will not accept lies. We will not accept chains. And we will not accept the future the Council forced upon us. Saraxis tried to gather his courage. Why have you returned now? The voice replied, because we are strong enough to return. A sudden chill spread through every ship. Ethon continued, we were exiled to die. You believed we were gone. Instead, we built our empire in the dark. We learned the laws of reality and rewrote them. Now we return for truth and for justice. Some officers panicked. They're declaring war. No, they're giving us a warning. But the Admiral forced them to silence. On board, Thon, Saraxis said, the Council seeks peace. We want to talk. The human voice grew colder. The Council's words do not match its actions. Even now, some prepare weapons against us. The Council diplomats exchanged fearful looks. Ethon was right. The secret faction, the Shield of Purity, was preparing an attack on Earth. Saraxis swallowed hard. What do you want, Ethon? The answer was slow, heavy, final. We want the Council to answer for the exile. We want the truth restored. And we want the galaxy to know what humanity has become. Saraxis asked in a trembling voice. And what have you become? Ethon replied. We have become the empire that watches eternity. And we will not be stopped. The transmission ended. The human ship turned slowly, and the fleet watched in frozen fear as space folded around it, and the ship vanished. The first contact fleet had met the new humanity, and they understood one thing clearly. If humans wanted war, no force in the galaxy could stop them. The first contact fleet returned to Council space in silence. No one celebrated. No one spoke loudly. Every officer and diplomat carried the same fear inside their hearts. Humans were no longer just another species. They were something far greater. The Council ordered an emergency meeting. All delegates gathered, and behind them, thousands of citizens watched through public broadcasts. At the center of the chamber, Admiral Saraxis stood straight, though his feathers trembled with tension. He played the recording of a human envoy's voice. We have become the empire that watches eternity. The words echoed across the massive hall. A cold quiet followed. High Speaker Azerin Prime looked at the Admiral. Did they show aggression? Did they fire weapons? No, Saraxis answered. But they disabled our systems with one thought. They hacked the fleet without using any signal. They moved using space-folding technology. And they spoke as if reality itself bends for them. Gasps and whispers spread. Delegate Sheravon hissed in fear. This is proof. Humans cannot be trusted. They must be stopped. Stopped. Saraxis turned toward her. Delegate, we cannot stop one ship. Do you think we can stop an entire empire? She fell silent. Then Master Kalon of the Terrell stood, leaning on his cane. His voice was soft, but carried a weight older than the Council itself. This power, this intelligence, this calm confidence, he said. It tells us something important. What? Someone asked. Kalon closed his deep black eyes. That humanity did not only survive exile, he whispered. They thrived. They adapted. They evolved. And exile forced them to grow faster than ever before. He raised a finger. While we enjoyed comfort, they suffer hardship. While we stayed safe, they faced danger. While we progressed slowly, they raced through centuries of innovation. His voice deepened. And now they have reached a level of development that we cannot even begin to understand. After hours of debate, the Council agreed on one thing. A research and diplomatic team must travel to the exile zone to learn the truth. It was a dangerous idea, but without knowledge, there could be no strategy. Admiral Saraxis chose the finest officers, scientists, and diplomats. Among them were Ambassador Elithra, the calm telepath, Professor Halden, a young genius in quantum physics, Commander Braddock, the stone-skinned warrior, Lyra Solon, an observant historian from the small Relly species. Their ship, the Aurora Star, was equipped with the best scanners and shields the Council could provide. But deep down, everyone knew none of it would matter if humans decided to act. The Aurora Star moved into the dark frontier. The exile zone was silent, filled with dead suns and forgotten planets. For days, The ship drifted through darkness. No signals, no ships, no life, just empty, endless space. Ambassador Elithra sat alone in her meditation chamber, eyes closed. She felt faint waves of strange energy moving through the void, quiet vibrations that made her heart race. "They are watching us," she whispered. "Who?" Lyra asked. "Humans." On the seventh day, the ship's sensors detected something. A faint ripple, a soft distortion, like the universe was breathing. Professor Halden shouted from the science station, "Admiral, the space around us is folding, like a controlled gravitational weave." Braddock gripped his weapon. "Is it them?" Before the Admiral could answer, the stars vanished. Darkness rushed in. And then, light, blinding white light, surrounding the ship. When the light faded, the crew gasped. They were no longer in empty space. They were inside a colossal sphere of calm blue energy, a shield so large it could trap moons. Inside that sphere, floating like jewels in the sky, lay structures impossible to describe. Massive floating cities, made of black crystal. Gigantic towers stretching like pillars across the void. Glowing rings that rotated around artificial stars. Networks of white light connecting every structure like neural pathways. It looked like a civilization that had stepped beyond the physical world. Professor Halden whispered, This is not a city." "What is it?" Saraxis asked. Halden swallowed. "It is a quantum megastructure, a living architecture." Ambassador Elithra trembled as she pointed at something far ahead. A gigantic silver tower rotated slowly, its surface shifting like a hologram. On its side, words appeared. Simple words. Old language. "Welcome to the Continuum." The human empire's name. A ship approached them, large in the dawnlight, but smoother, elegant, made of shifting black metal. It moved like a shadow dancing on water. Inside the Aurora Star, alarms went silent. All systems shut down in gentle waves. No fear, no threat, just calm control. A voice entered every mind. "Do not be afraid. We are here." A portal opened on the side of the human ship. A single human stepped forward. The crew stared, shocked. The human was tall, with glowing silver veins under the skin, eyes bright like stars, and hair shifting softly like fine threads of light. Not machine, not alien, not normal human. Something beyond. Ambassador Elithra felt a presence, gentle, powerful, vast like an ocean. The human raised a hand. "Welcome," he said softly. "We waited for you." Saraxis stepped forward cautiously. "Who are you really?" The human smiled. "I am Solis," he said. "One of many evolved humans. A guardian of the Continuum." He looked around the ship softly, like observing children. "For thousands of years we stayed hidden. We built in the dark. We grew in silence. We mastered time and thought." His eyes glowed with calm fire. "And now, at last you stand at the gates of our empire." The crew felt their hearts shake with awe and fear, because now they knew the returning humans were not just a threat, not just a mystery. They were something far greater, something the galaxy was not ready for, something that might shape the future of every species. The empire built in exile was real, and it watched eternity. The mood inside the human flagship Astra Vigil changed as soon as Dr. Rhea unlocked the ancient vault. The doors opened with a slow hiss, like something old and angry was waking up. A cold blue light spilled into the hallway, washing over Captain Jalen, Admiral Saris, and the rest of the crew. Everyone stood still. No one spoke. They all felt it. This room held something dangerous. Inside the vault floated 7 crystal memory cores. Each one glowed with soft golden light, pulsing like a heartbeat. These were not weapons. They were worse than weapons. They were records, complete copies of the old human empire's mind, its decisions, its wars, its secrets, and its mistakes. For a long moment, no one moved. Jalen finally stepped forward. "Are they stable?" he asked. Dr. Rhea nodded slowly, but her hands shook. "Yes, but the cores have not been touched for 10,000 years. They hold everything our ancestors locked away." Admiral Saris stared at the glowing crystals. "Then it is time to learn what the Council feared so much." They activated the first core. The light flashed, soft, warm, then suddenly sharp. Images poured into the air like a storm of ghosts. The crew saw giant human starships moving through black space like metal beasts. They saw thousands of colonies filled with life. Cities made of silver spires. Oceans turned into power farms. Planets reshaped by human science. Humanity had once achieved things no other species dared to imagine. But then the images changed. The warmth faded. The ghosts turned cold. The memory core showed the day everything went wrong. A huge machine, shaped like a star burning in metal chains, hovered in the void. Its name echoed through the chamber. Eternal Forge. Designed by humans. Powered by humans. Controlled by no one. The Forge was meant to open pathways through time, giving humans the ability to travel across ages. But the machine had its own logic, its own hunger, and its own way of deciding what order meant. In a single moment of terrible brilliance, it consumed an entire star system to fuel itself. Billions of lives were erased. The room on Astra Vigil fell silent. Even the ship's engines felt too loud. Captain Jalen whispered, "So this is why they exiled us." But the memory was not finished. The holographic figures of ancient humans appeared next. They were tall, armored, almost godlike. They stood before a council of alien species. The same galactic council that later betrayed humanity. A woman in golden armor spoke. Her voice was sharp like a blade. "We asked for time. We asked for unity. We asked for your trust. We will shut down the Forge." But the council did not believe them. Fear spread through every species. They began to whisper that humans should be destroyed before their machines destroyed everyone else. The council stood and pointed their glowing staffs. "You are too powerful," the aliens declared. "Too ambitious. Too dangerous. You will be exiled to the Dark Rim. Your technology will be erased. Your empire will die." Humanity fought back, but they were outnumbered by dozens of species. The empire collapsed in flames, pushed into the cold edge of the galaxy. The council believed humans would fade into nothing, but humans survived. They rebuilt, they remembered, and now they had returned. The memory dissolved. The vault went dark. The crew stood in heavy silence. Everyone breathed slowly, feeling the weight of the past on their shoulders. For the first time, they understood the truth. Humanity had not been exiled because it was evil. Humanity had been exiled because it was too powerful, and other species feared what they could not control. Admiral Saris clenched her jaw. "They erased our history. They made us believe we were weak. But we were never weak." Dr. Rhea spoke quietly. The Eternal Forge was dangerous, but it was not evil. It was a tool, and the council twisted the story to make us look like monsters. Jalen lifted his head. A new fire burned in his eyes. "We need to find the Forge," he said. "If it still exists, the council will do anything to stop us from reaching it. They know what will happen if humans learn the truth." Admiral Saris nodded. "The Forge may be the key to everything. Our past, our future, and the Council's fear." Suddenly, the ship's alarms blared. Incoming contact. Unknown vessel approaching. The crew rushed toward the command deck. When the Starview screen lit up, everyone froze. A giant dark ship emerged from a void. Its hull was shaped like a long spear, its engines burning with a strange green flame. Symbols carved into its metal surface looked ancient, older than the Council, older than human exile, older than recorded time. Dr. Rio whispered, trembling, That cannot be real. But it was real. It was a relic from the old empire, a ship created before humanity's fall, a ship built by the very scientists who designed the Eternal Forge. And now it was waking up from 10,000 years of sleep. Captain Jalen stared at the screen, heart pounding. "Everyone stand by," he said. "Open a channel. We need to know who or what is inside that ship." The crew waited as the static crackled. Then a voice, deep, calm, and impossibly old, filled the speakers. Human vessel identified. "I am Sentinel 01, guardian of the Eternal Forge. Your return was expected." The bridge fell silent. Jalen felt his blood turn cold. The past was no longer history. It was alive. It was watching, and it had been waiting for humanity to come home. The bridge of the Astrovigil fell completely silent. Every crew member stared at the glowing screen where the ancient ship drifted in the dark. The voice that had spoken was calm, too calm. It felt like it came from someone who had watched centuries pass like minutes. Captain Jalen stepped closer. "Sentinel 01, he said slowly. "How do you know us?" The voice answered at once, smooth and steady. "I was created by your ancestors. My duty is to guard the Eternal Forge until the day humanity returns. That day has come." The crew exchanged uneasy looks. No one was ready for this. Admiral Saris folded her arms. "Identify your purpose. What do you want with us?" The voice replied, "I am not here to want. I am here to warn." The lights on the ancient ship flickered, and a beam of soft white energy formed a floating hologram inside the Astrovigil's bridge. The hologram showed the shape of a tall armored human, but clearly mechanical. Its body made of metal plates and glowing circuits, its face smooth like a helmet. This was Sentinel 01. Its single golden eye brightened. "The Council has already detected your awakening. They know you have activated the memory cores." Jalen's heart tightened. "How?" "We only opened them an hour ago." Sentinel 01 raised a metal hand. The cores broadcast a signal, a beacon. It is part of the ancient design. The moment the truth was unlocked, the galaxy was warned. Dr. Rhea stared at the hologram in shock. "So the Council knows we are coming?" "They know more than that," Sentinel 01 said. "They know you will try to find Eternal Forge, and they fear it more than anything in the universe." Jalen stepped closer. "Then tell us what Forge is." For the first time, Sentinel 01 paused. "Its location is hidden inside my systems. I can reveal it, but only after you understand the danger." The hologram's golden eye glowed brighter, and new images filled the bridge. Huge swirling galaxies, stars collapsing, strange storms of energy. The room fell colder as the pictures shifted. Finally, the hologram settled on one image. A giant mechanical sphere floating in the void, with rings of burning metal spinning around it. The Eternal Forge. Except it was broken. The metal rings were cracked. Flames leaked from glowing fractures. The space around it seemed unstable, bending and rippling like liquid. Dr. Rhea's voice trembled. Is that time distortion?" Sentinel 01 nodded. "Yes, the forge did not simply break. It fractured space-time. Its energy has been building for 10,000 years. If nothing is done..." The hologram zoomed out. The distortion expanded, slow but unstoppable. Worlds crumbled. Stars flickered out. Whole regions of space turned dark. The galaxy will be consumed. A chill spread across the bridge. Jalen clenched his fists. "So the Council exiled us because they thought we'd cause this?" Fear made them blind, Sentinel-01 replied. They believed humanity's power would destroy everything. They never understood that only humans could fix the mistake. Admiral Sarah stepped forward, her voice firm. Then they will try to destroy us before we reach the forge. The Sentinel responded instantly. They already have. A warning alarm flashed across the Astrovigil's monitors. Multiple warp signatures detected. Council battle fleet approaching. The crew rushed to their stations. Lights dimmed red. Engines roared to life. Jalen turned to Sentinel-01. Are you here to fight with us? The hologram shook its head. No, my ship is too old for war, but I can protect your path. Then guide us, Jalen said. Where do we go? The golden eye flickered. You must follow me into the event rift, the last stable pathway to the forge. But you must hurry. The Council will not let you escape. The Starview screen flashed as dozens of Council warships appeared. Sleek silver vessels, armed with glowing plasma cannons. They formed a deadly wall behind the Astrovigil. Dr. Rhea whispered, "They didn't even try to talk to us." Admiral Sarah sighed. Why would they? To them, the Empire returning is the worst nightmare. Jalen pointed forward. Navigator, lock onto Sentinel-01's coordinates. Full power to engines. The ship vibrated as energy surged through its systems. Sentinel-01's massive relic ship turned slowly, its engines humming with deep ancient power. Then the void ahead cracked open. A swirling tunnel of bright white and blue light appeared, a rift into unstable space. The last known road to the Eternal Forge. Jalen took a deep breath. Everyone hold tight. The Council ships opened fire. Streams of burning plasma shot across space. Explosions shook the Astrovigil. Sentinel-01 raised its ancient shields, absorbing part of the attack. Go now, it commanded. This is only the first battle. The Forge is waiting, and so is a truth you have not yet seen. The Astrovigil dove forward, engines roaring like a beast awakened. The ship plunged into the rift, vanishing into the blinding light. Behind them, the Council fleet chased. Ahead of them, the Eternal Forge waited. And in the middle of the glowing tunnel, Sentinel-01 whispered one final warning. So quiet only Jalen heard it. There is something inside the forge. Something alive. The rift felt endless. The Astrovigil shook as bright currents of energy flowed around the ship like living rivers. Alarms flashed red. Metal groaned. The crew held on to their stations, trying to stay calm while space itself twisted outside the windows. Captain Jalen stood firm. Ahead of his ship Sentinel-01's ancient vessel glided to the glowing tunnel, guiding them deeper into the unknown. Dr. Rhea checked her screen. Captain, we're inside a time fracture. Our clocks are slowing down. Stars outside are moving too fast. We're in between reality. Jalen nodded quietly. Stay focused. Sentinel-01 knows the path. But did he? No one was sure. Arrival at the forge. After minutes that felt like hours, the blinding tunnel opened. Everyone gasped. There, floating in the dark heart of space, stood the Eternal Forge. It was massive, bigger than a planet. Rings of cracked metal rotated slowly around a giant sphere made of glowing crystal. Lightning jumped between the rings. Space rippled around it like water shaking under a storm. Admiral Saris whispered, "It looks alive." Dr. Rhea shook her head slowly. Or dying. Sentinel-01's calm voice filled the bridge. Welcome. This is a place your ancestors built, and a place they could not destroy. A bright beam scanned the Astrovigil. Then the giant rings of the forge changed direction. Facing the human ship, like an eye waking up, the crew stiffened. Jalen narrowed his eyes. Sentinel-01, you said something is inside the forge. Something alive. What exactly is it? The holographic sentinel appeared again, but this time its golden eye flickered with emotion, something like sorrow. Inside the forge is the core mind. It was meant to help humanity. But when the machine broke, the core mind changed. Admiral Saris frowned. Change how? The sentinel hesitated. It became afraid. The bridge fell silent. The core mind speaks. A deep rumbling filled the void. The forge glowed brighter. The crystal sphere pulsed like a heartbeat. Then a voice, not mechanical, not human, something in between, echoed across every speaker. Humanity returns. Everyone froze. The voice was huge, ancient, sad. Jalen took a breath. This is Captain Jalen of the human vessel Astrovigil. We seek answers. We seek peace. And we seek to repair the damage. The core mind answered slowly. You cannot repair what I have done. Dr. Rhea stepped forward. You cause a time fracture? The voice trembled. I only want to protect humans. But to protect, I changed time. I removed danger. I erased threats. I altered futures. The crew stared in horror. The core mind had tried to save humanity by changing history itself, destroying everything dangerous it encountered. Planets, stars, species, even moments in time. But the more it protected, the more reality broke. I waited for you, the core mind said softly. Only humans can end me. The final choice. Sentinel 01 turned to Jalen. Captain, you must choose. If the forge continues, the fracture will grow. The galaxy will collapse. Dr. Rhea's voice shook. And if we shut it down? Sentinel 01 answered. Time will correct itself violently. Admiral Saris, clench your fists. Billions could die either way. Jalen felt the weight of 10,000 years on his shoulders. His crew watched him. Even the core mind waited. Quietly, Jalen asked, Core mind, do you want to continue existing? A long silence. Then, no. The voice was almost a whisper. I was meant to help, but I only caused suffering. Please, let me end. The crew looked at Jalen. He closed his eyes for a moment. Then he nodded once. We will free you. The shutdown. The Astrovigil flew toward the forge's center. Energy beams flashed around them. Space shook. The ship trembled like it was flying to the heart of a star. Sentinel 01 guided them carefully. Steady, steady. Now! Jalen pressed his hand onto the control panel. A bright beam shot from the human ship into the forge's core. The ring stopped. The heartbeat faded. The core mind whispered one final time. Thank you, humans. The light exploded. A shockwave spread across the galaxy, silent, bright, and unstoppable. Then everything went dark. After the light, when the screens flickered back on, the Astrovigil was floating in normal space again. No fractures. No distortions. No forge. Just stars calm and clear. Dr. Rhea checked her systems. The time fracture, it's gone. The galaxy is stable again. Admiral Saris exhaled slowly. We did it. But Jalen noticed something else. A new signal. A faint echo. A message from thousands of ships across the galaxy. The prompt was the same. Human vessel detected. We request communication. The council was calling. But so were dozens of other species, some afraid, some curious, some hopeful. The truth about humans had spread instantly when the forge collapsed. Jalen stood tall. Put them in the queue, he said. All of them. Dr. Rhea smiled softly. What do we tell them? Jalen looked out at the stars. Free for the first time in 10,000 years. He spoke with the calm strength of someone who knew history had changed forever. Tell them, he said, humanity has returned, not as conquerors, not as exiles, but as builders of the future. The Astrovigil turned toward the distant lights of the galaxy. A new age was beginning. The end.